Hello everyone and welcome to The Scroll, your home for all things SWC 2020. We have a very special recap episode of the America's Cup. All the big players, all the big names, and all the big moves that happened while 2 members qualified to join them in the World Championships. The day was filled with upsets. Some of the big names, Dreams, Joseph, and Tree, were eliminated, and against the odds, it was JMAC and Truckamoo that made it to the World Finals. Starting off with Dreams Joseph defeating Hees 2-0. JMAC defeated Ken Baller in a fantastic match 2-0. Truckamoo defeated Tree 2-1 in the closest match of the quarterfinals. And then Popo Panda took care of business against Raigeki 2-0. In the semifinals match and the deciders, we switched to best of 5s. It was JMAC defeating Dreams Joseph 3-1, and Truckamoo also booking his ticket to the World Championship 3-1 over Popo Panda. And in the finals, JMAC took care of business 3-0 to claim the title as the best player in the Americas region in 2020. It is the time where we figure out how they did it. And let's start with our champion, the #1 player in the Americas region, JMAC. JMAC took care of business against Ken Baller in his first match. It was the Okeanos, and we got to see a first look at the Changpeng, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Changpeng in the North America's Cup at all. Part of it had to do with the big buff it received, allowed JMAC to basically slot it into his lineup, where he likes to play with a lot of speed and control and balance that with some sort of turn 2 play. Changpeng being able to strip, AoE strip, or AoE reset attack bars and reset cooldowns, slotted in perfectly and allowed him to dominate a lot of his opponents.
So JMAC took victory there against Ken Baller, but then had to go up against, I think, the big test here in Dreams Joseph. And Dreams Joseph so many times has made it to the America's Cup finals. He did it back in 2018 as the America's Cup champion, but in this case, another falter here as JMAC was able to take care of business 3-1, and it feels like a lot of that was on the back of Masha, Daphnis, Ileana, and CN.
Yeah, we saw a lot of similar picks coming from Dreams Joseph. Like we saw plenty of play where Dreams Joseph relies on that Josephine, drafting Masha as that fire damage dealer. Once again, I think he made himself very predictable for JMAC, and out of everybody in this tournament, I think JMAC did the most homework. He had all of his notes ready for all of these players, and I think it was another case of someone making themselves very predictable. JMAC did away with Dreams Joseph. He saw exactly what he needed to see.
Didn't have to work as hard, though, in the finals. It felt like, again, Truckamoo was just excited to make it to the World Championships, but we did have to play that final match out, and JMAC took care of business 3-0 on the back of the play of Sierra as well as Okeanos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, JMAC was able to use speeds to his advantage, understanding the draft, the dynamics of speed within a draft, whether you have first turn or not, with and without speed lead, and what units being controlled or not. Those dynamics are very core to a top G3 player's draft in the speed battle. He used that very well and was able to, quite honestly, show dominance in that finals.
JMAC really did show a ton of dominance, whether it was controlling Truckamoo, handling whatever he had to throw at him, where Truckamoo tried to either go heavy Beast Rider drafts or even trying to draft a Rika to get an edge on him, and nothing worked out for Truckamoo. Truckamoo was very content with, making it to the final, and he's going to Worlds, but we have a brand new America's Cup champion.
But it was very dominant and emotional Truckamoo here in the quarterfinals and semifinals of the America's Cup as he was able to book his ticket to the World Championship, wasn't he, guys?
Probably one of the tougher matches that Truckamoo was not looking forward to. It's obviously his first match going up against Tree. Both drafting not high damage comms, not a lot of control. They're both drafting like these crazy sustain teams, and it was honestly like who outlasted one another or who found their opening. And in the end, Truckamoo found his opening, and he was able to proceed further in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Truckamoo, again, in those first few matchups, clearly had done his homework as well. A lot of those picks came out very quickly. At the same time, again, understanding the dynamics of speed that's very core to this meta right now. I was able to quite dispatch Tree, who's always gone to the finals. And I think once he was in the finals, I think the weight was off his shoulders. He just wanted to get there and enjoy, that moment.
Truckamoo did take care of business against Tree, probably one of the most feared players still left in the tournament, and then went up against Popo Panda, who took care of business against Raigeki and was also 1 win away from possibly making it to the World Championship. But Truckamoo shut the door shut with the Gianna and the Savannah, didn't he?
He really did. They were sharing a lot of units, a lot of bands going back and forth, fighting over those speed leads and everything. But like you said, Trockmu did his business and he did away with Popo Panda.
Trockmu definitely knew that matchup well. He actually made it look very easy. If you look back at game 2, Trockmu's Gianna missed a stun on that Savannah, and that's the only reason why Popo Panda won. Otherwise, that would have been a 3-0 shutout. I mean, Trockmu was just able to dictate if he wanted turn 1 at all or not. And being able to make that decision, draft in a way where your opponent doesn't get to decide that, is huge in that matchup. And so Trockmu just basically steamrolled Popo Panda.
And so now I think the question is, what are the expectations for these two guys? You look at the other competitors in the field, there's a little bit more experience in terms of the world stage. But here we go, Trockmu and JMAC, they're the ones that are in. How do you feel like they could do?
A lot of it comes down to your prep and your homework. And if you have your draft written out beforehand, which we saw with Jeff, I mean, the rest kind of plays itself. And so from what I've seen in the other regions versus what I've seen in ours, we definitely watch the speeds and turn orders a lot more, the decision tree type of thing that players walk through. I think America's Cup players do a very good job of that, and I have high expectations for it.
I couldn't agree more. It's all about that homework. It's all about that preparation. You know, we saw JMAC perform with all of this preparation. He knew everything that was coming in. He had an answer for everything. You could tell by how quick he was slamming down units without a shadow of a doubt, not having an issue with any of it. And Trockmu, even the same way. He was ready for a lot of things. He did his homework. And as long as both these players, they keep at it, they do their homework on whoever is going to be going into Worlds for our next tournaments, I think the Americans could definitely be taking the Worlds this year.
We've got 2 more regions still left to go. 3 spots up for grabs for APAC. And then after that, on November 7th, the European region will have their cup and 2 more slots. And all of that culminates to the World Championship November 20th. We'll catch you here next time. 3 more spots up for grabs. We'll see you then.